So yeah, we're going to do a few things. I'm going to explain kind of what the purpose of the class is and what we're trying to accomplish with it. Then we're going to watch some material. So first off, just the purpose of audition technique is really to prepare the student for a professional audition where they don't shat themselves at the door when they get into it the first time, quite frankly, because it's an incredibly intimidating thing to do. So anybody who's done this for a long time will tell you the way you get good at auditioning is just by auditioning. You get better with experience of doing it. So that's what the semester is jam-packed with. It's audition after audition after audition, mock auditions all the way through. We work in the genres of television and film. So we'll start off with multicam auditions, and then the next audition we'll do a single cam, and then we'll with crime procedural, medical procedurals, some period pieces in television, and then we'll work into maybe some sci-fi and some horror. Then we'll look at the independent film industry and their casting process, and then the studio casting process. All of which you need to know the differences between those things. You need to know what you're getting involved with. And the real life scenario that the class offers is the fact that you get your sides 24 hours in advance, and that's it. And we record the auditions in a couple of ways. So with this semester, we've been forced into doing live Zoom sessions. So it's an in-person live audition. So we'll do auditions that way. I'll set up my camera here and we'll record all of the auditions, and then we'll watch them as a class and review them and analyze them and evaluate them. The other thing that we're doing is self-taping. Usually I reserve self-taping for the final 4 weeks, and we learn to self-tape, and their final is usually just a self-tape audition, 3 or 4 scenes. This time I wanted to pepper in self-tape auditions all the way through the semester. So it's a kind of a 50-50 thing. We do a live session, then we do a self-tape and that kind of thing. The stipulations are exactly the same. The time constraints that they would have a deadline that the tape had to be in by. All right, so sit back. Here's some 3 dramatic monologues, and then 3 comedic, utilizing the self-tape format.
I remember a lifetime ago I was 3.5 feet tall, weighing only 60 pounds. It was Saturday mornings going to work with you. We would pile into that big green truck. I thought that truck was the biggest truck in the universe, Pop. I remember how important the job we did was. How if it weren't for us, people would freeze to death. I thought you were the strongest man in the world. Remember those home movies when Mom would dress up like Loretta Young? Ice creams, football games, playing hook the tuna. And the day I left for California, only to come home with the FBI chasing me. It was that FBI agent Trout. When he had to get on his knees and put my boots on, you said, "That's where you belong, you son of a bitch, putting on Georgie's boots." That was a good one. You remember that? And that time you told me money wasn't real? Well, old man, I'm 30 years old and I finally realized what you're trying to tell me too many years ago. I finally understand. I just wish I could have done more for you. Wish I had more time. I love you, Dad.
I don't know. I think that my mom took it so hard that I didn't get a chance to grieve in a healthy way. It's like I had to take care of her, you know? At first it brought us closer together, but then I eventually turned into the typical teenager, and all that grief turned to resentment. One night I got stoned out of my mind. I went home, walked in her room, and there she was, watching TV. I looked at her and started laughing at her, pointing right in her face. She just sat there. And then I started to cry. I told her how much I missed my dad. She stood up and hugged me. And then I got the munchies. And we ate donuts and talked about him all night. The next morning, I woke up and felt like I had a mom again. She loved my dad so much. She never took her ring off. That's what I want, Jose. I want to bring a child into this world out of love with the man who's gonna take care of us. I don't have that. I can't have this baby and watch it suffer with me. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't
know. Look, I know you haven't felt well lately, and it makes it harder for me to tell you this, but I wish we were close. I wish we were friends. I don't like waking up in the morning scrambling your eggs with you shouting obscenities in the background at me about things that don't deserve shouting. I understand that it's hard for you. I get that. But you forget that I'm a person. I am your daughter. And I'm sorry I'm not all that you hope for. And that this life that we live together isn't glamorous. And that Dad abandoned us when I was born. And you shouldn't make me feel like it's my fault. I just want to say that I tried, you know? I tried to be there for you. I tried to do all the things a good daughter is supposed to do for her mother. But you're so rude and I can't take it anymore. Be nice to me. Treat me nice before I have an outburst. A real outburst. I'm talking a sumo outburst. Huge. So be nice. Treat me nice. Do you want more coffee?
Give me a break. You walk in here 25 minutes late and expect sympathy? I have cleaned the house, washed all of your clothes, and ran a daycare center with socially deviant munchkins. Ran this one to the ballet lesson, this one to the dentist, no cavities. Thank you very much. Do you realize I had slaved a hot stove just so you could come home to a hot meal? And I don't care if you say you are sorry. It does not change the fact that my risotto is ruined. Ruined! All dried out. But you have the common courtesy and call me and tell me you will be 25 minutes late? No. Well, I am not an animal. Oh my God. What's happening? I sound like my mother.
You sound just like Brandon. You know, for 2 years, I begged him to transfer over so we could be together. Oh no, he said. So that my credits won't transfer, I'll have to spend an extra semester or a summer to catch up. Then on his visit over winter break, I introduced him to Marissa, a Marisa. De repente cambió su forma de pensar.
¿Qué es un verano cuando podemos estar juntos?
Y se transfirió. Al principio estaba emocionada, pero eso solo me duró como 2 segundos, porque en cuanto llegó, las únicas palabras que salieron de su boca fueron
Marisa, 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 Marisa.
y Marissa, 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 Marissa. Anyway, last night was the last straw. He was repeating her name over and over in his sleep.
Marissa?
Oh, Marissa, oh, Marissa. I woke him up and I said, what were you just dreaming about? And he was like,
what are you talking about? What? ¿De qué estás hablando? ¿Qué pasa?
y le dije, nunca va a pasar, nunca.
Y me dijo, ¿qué es lo que nunca va a pasar?
Y le dije, Marisa, tú y Marisa. And he's like,
why would I want to be with her? I'm with you.
and I'm like, well, if we weren't together, would you consider being with her? And he's like,
I don't know, maybe. Why? Did she say something about me?
and I'm like, no, I told you it's never going to happen. And he's like,
Well, never is a pretty harsh word. I mean, I'm pretty good with the ladies. Muy bueno con las chicas.
y le dije, no desde donde yo estoy parada, amigo.
Give up. Just quit. You can't win. Oh yeah, you could try, but you're just gonna lose big time. You know why? Because the world is ran by the man. You don't know who the man is. He's everywhere. He's in the White House. He's down the hall. Miss Mullins, she's the man. And guess what? He's destroying the ozone layer. He's burning on the Amazons, and he kidnapped Shamu and put her in a chlorine tank. And there used to be a way to stick it to the man. Yeah, it was a little thing called rock and roll. But guess what? The man ruined that too with a little thing called MTV. So don't try to do anything that's pure or cool or awesome, because the man's just gonna call you a washed-up loser. So do yourselves a favor and just give up.
Okay. Auditioning is always going to remain the same in some ways for the actor, because at the end of the day, you've got to prepare right, and you've got to show up and bring it. Whatever the medium and which way we're doing it, that work, it will always remain the same. I mean, in my personal experience, easily in the last 2 or 3 years,
Yep.
in-person auditions have been about 60%, and then 40%
Agreed.
on tape. Now, it's different. It's going to be different, and I think when people get a taste for it, on tape is just far more efficient, and it's going to force us actors to learn some new tools